Hi there, I'm chatting with Professor Raj Kapoor from Queen Square, London, and he's just finished chairing a session at ECTRIMS on progressive MS research and treatment. What are some of the takeaways that came out of this session just now?
Well, I think, sitting through that session, we couldn't help but be really optimistic. A few years ago, we would have had no session like this. We just didn't have the kind of encouraging trials, the results that we've had, that we've heard about in the last session. So, everywhere from how to treat MS, encouraging results from clinical trials where we're actually starting to see an impact on disability, the way we do trials, the outcomes, how we measure what we're doing, and actually just a whole wealth of ways of doing trials and targets for treatment. So really, everything's there to make progress in the next few years to try and crack this problem.
What would you say to those patients of yours with, say, early progressive MS?
I think that actually, I always take the view that we now have all these drugs, 14 different drugs with which we can treat relapsing MS. So relapsing MS now is a good place to be if there was one, because we have so many drugs. And we're seeing that same progress now encroaching into the early space of early progressive. We have siponimod, we have ocrelizumab. They seem to work very well on early progressive. So I think to those patients I'd say take heart actually, because I think these drugs are coming, and in fact I think in the next couple of years we're going to start looking to see whether we can license siponimod, and with ibudilast and actually even ocrelizumab we're starting to see cracks in the whole structure. So I'm encouraged.
What would you say to those patients who've had progressive MS for a while?
I always hate to say this, I think you have to be a little bit more patient. That being said, we don't yet know whether the drugs that are going to be licensed for early progressive are actually going to work on later progressive as well. Personally, I think that we're caught in all kinds of statistics here, and the statistics tell us that we're more happy with early disease, we see a better treatment effect, but that's not to say there's no treatment effect later on. So I actually, for that reason, I'd say actually be a little patient, but actually we may still be treating you. And the other thing to say actually is that the drugs that are being developed for neuroprotection and repair are primarily targeting that particular group of people. So again, you're not forgotten. We're doing a lot of stuff that might help.
What do you think about the recent decision by NICE not to fund treatment of those with early progressive MS with ocrelizumab?
Well, it's disappointing. I mean, I think that in a meeting like this, where we're mixing with our colleagues from around the world, it's seen as a surprising decision. I can understand NICE's decision in one way because the effect that we see is relatively small, but we have to recognize this as an economic decision, not a decision that says the drug doesn't work. So I think from my own point of view, it's a matter of, well, we're going to keep battering at that door and see if we can get some change. We've been there before with relapsing disease, where drugs were initially deemed to be too expensive and not to be efficacious enough. It's up to us as a community to try and keep battering at that door, I'd say.